Alright, so the next topic is all about earned value analysis. As I told you previously that we have completed couple of stages. The first stage was where we were planning. The second stage was we were in execution, means the progress, the update of the progress. So the third stage of the software is into monitoring and controlling. So once you start updating your project and you start recording the actuals, what you will have to do is you will have to monitor your actuals versus plan or plan versus actual. That's how it should be. Now you start comparing your plan versus actual. So that is all about monitoring and controlling. This is a topic, we call it as a tracking. So for tracking, basically what we need, something where we need to compare, right? Comparisons is what we are tracking all about. So as I told you previously, that we should insert all these columns properly. There has to be a column called as baseline duration, and then beside to that you should have an actual duration, and then beside to that you have remaining duration, so that you will understand that what was the duration planned and what it has happened. This was 5 days planned early, now it has taken 6 days. There's a 1 day extra. So we come to know, that's what we understand, right? This is what we are analyzing it. We want to analyze that where we are standing in terms of time and cost, right? So for doing this analysis, we have something called as earned value analysis, the very most important topics actually. Let me just tell you a few things before I get into earned value analysis. There are lots of companies like what I have as my Innovic Solutions is a company name what I have. So lot of companies like us who works only on this monitoring and controlling. We do not work majorly on scheduling. Of course we do scheduling projects also, but our more intensity of doing projects is on monitoring and controlling, where our expertise are required. So once you understand how it works, and then probably if you have couple of years of experiences tomorrow, then you can have your own company, and then this consultancy is what we call them as project management consultants, and we have projects across the world. You need not travel anywhere. It's all you collect the data and then you start working on it. That's how it works. I'll tell you about it. As we do not have a whiteboard in Google Meet, I'm going to use this Microsoft Word to make you understand how it works. You can see on the screen there's something called as earned value analysis, earned value management, and cost analysis. Are you able to see this word? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. So this earned value analysis, earned value management, all these words are pretty same. There's no difference in it actually. Lots of people, you might get confused. A lot of people, they talk about EVA, and somewhere suddenly you see what EVM. EVA is not different from EVM, or basically both of them is known as cost analysis. In a simple term, if you want to know what is it, is known as cost analysis. Okay. Earned value analysis, earned value management. Earned value management is little bigger word or bigger term to define. Earned value analysis is a part of earned value management, because earned value management can also have different technologies or methodologies, usually probably any diagrams or any of those stuff to analyze, or like your pivot tables, or could be any of those things, so to analyze something. So what is earned value analysis, earned value management? It's pretty same. So to understand what is this earned value analysis, how it is going to be helpful, how do we monitor with these methodologies? Earned value analysis is a methodology, you can call it as. Yeah. So to start with, there are three most important things to remember in this. That is, we call them as planned value cost, or you can call it as a planned value. It is usually known as PV. This is how it is understood. What the next is earned value, it is known as EV, and then we have something called as actual cost. So these are the three most important things in our earned value analysis which you should be knowing. Okay, now let me start with planned value. What is planned value? What is PV? PV is equal to, there's a formula, not formula, actually it's a logic. Just a second, somebody's knocking. Yeah, as I told you, it's not actually a formula, it's a concept. So what is planned value? Planned value is known as BCWS. Now what is this BCWS means? Budgeted cost for work scheduled. So BCWS is nothing but budgeted cost for work scheduled. I'll explain you this with an example little later. I'll just write this. What is earned value? Earned value is known as BCWP. BCWP means everything is same. Budgeted cost for work performance, right? So you can see there's a difference. BCWS is work scheduled, BCWP is nothing but work performance, budgeted cost for work performance, right? So actual cost is ACWP. ACWP is nothing but actual cost for work performance. Now very simple, you can understand what it is. Budgeted cost for work schedule means what? Now let's take an example to understand this. Now before taking an example, let me clear you the things. Earned value analysis can be done individually to an activity. Means we can do analysis, we can do this earned value analysis to an activity level, we can do this earned value analysis for an WBS level, or we can also do a earned value analysis to the project level. Means if you want detailed analysis, you can do it at an activity level. If you want a summarized result, then you can do it at a WBS level. If you want to do an analysis to an whole project, not to an individual activity, to understand where the project is currently, then you have to do it at a project level. Very simple. What do you want to monitor? You want to monitor an activity, do it at an activity level. If you want to monitor a WBS, do this analysis at an WBS level. If you want to monitor the whole project, then do it at a project level. Okay, so just take an example. I'll take an example. Let's say there's an activity A. Now this could be any activity. There's an activity A. Assuming this activity, say duration, D is equal to duration, right? So I'll say this activity is of 10 days. Okay, and assuming that we have assigned some resources and all those stuff, and we have taken a budget. Okay, I'll call it as a cost. Now the estimated cost is, say, about how much this is, 10,000 rupees, right? So say this is a 10,000 rupees per day. Just a second. This is per day. Okay. Example is, there's an activity D which is of 10 days, and then I have assigned the resources and all those stuff, and the budgeted cost have come 10,000 rupees per day. This is the activity. Assuming that this activity is into a execution level, and then we are assuming that this activity, say, about already have completed 20% of the work, or in terms of duration. So I'll call this as duration percentage duration percentage complete. You know this, right? We used to monitor this. Duration percentage complete, say about it's 20% completed. Means, what do you mean by this? Already 2 days have got finished, right? Total days, estimated days are 10. So in that, if we say 20% is completed, means what? Actually 2 days have gone. Right, so we are into the mid of the execution. The site, I am there in the site, I am capturing the data. Already 2 days have got completed. Is that what I am updating? So duration percentage completes says that 2 days have got finished. Now there is something called as work percentage complete, right? There is something called as work percentage complete. Now what is work percentage complete? Say about you have budgeted that there will be a 10 resources per day, right? So if your resources have worked for 20 units, that means your 20% has been used. I'll repeat, if we have estimated 10 labors per day, right, the activity is for 10 days, what is the total number of resources? 100, correct? 10 into 10. So if after 2 days, assume that 20 units of labors have used, that means 20% of work percentage complete has been done. This, when I say work, it's not physical work. Its work is nothing but efforts. Go back to the same formula to remember it. Units per time into duration is equal to work. That work this is. I'm not talking about physical work. I'm talking about the efforts. Units per time into duration is equal to work. So units here I have put 20 units. For the amount of duration is 2, because you have completed 20% of the duration, right? So for the 2 days, the amount of resources, that say about 20 units of resources have worked, is equal to the whatever the amount of hours of work you get, right? So in terms of percentage, let me say, or not 20, say probably we might not have used the resources way we wanted. I have worked only 10%. That means in 2 days we should have used 20 units of resources, but for some reason, probably unskilled laborers were not available, or there was a rain, there was XYZ factor, where because of that, when we should have used 20 units of resources, I have used only 10 units of resources. That is 10%. Understanding? We have done with 20% of the duration, and we have done only 10% of the work. This is what is the current situation. I'm just creating a situation here. You understanding? I'm just creating a scenario so that you people can understand. Example, activity A is of 10 days. The budget is 10,000 rupees per day. We have 10 labors per day. So 2 days have already got completed. That is 20% of the duration have got completed, and 10% of the work only can be, or possibly we can do it. So, or we could do it. So it's only 10 labors or 10 units of resources what we have used, right? So that means now with this current situation, let me understand what is my planned value, what is my earned value, what is my actual cost. Let's see. Now planned value is equal to what it says. It says budgeted cost for work scheduled. Now what is the budgeted cost for work schedule? What is budgeted cost? Budgeted cost is 10,000 rupees per day, right? And work has been scheduled for how much? 20% of the duration. I'll repeat. Budgeted cost is how much? 10,000 rupees per day. Work has been scheduled for how many days? 20%, means 2 days. So what should be our planned value? What should be our planned value? So 10,000 multiply by 2, so is equal to, say I have 20,000 rupees. This 20,000 rupees is your planned value, means for 2 days we have planned to spend 20,000 rupees. This is what a planned value is. Now what is earned value? Earned value is dependent on how much we have done. So earned value says you just have worked for only 10 units. That means you have worked only for a day. So is equal to, it's 10,000. Right, we have worked only for 10%. 10% units is nothing but 10, because we have total 100. So 10 out of that, the cost becomes 10,000. Right, so earned value, budgeted cost for work performance. The work performance has happened only for one day. Probably another day we could not work, So this is earned value. What is actual cost? Now actual cost is something which you have added here in this actual column here. Like for example, on some activity, in fact de-shuttering activity, I believe, yeah, see here, this is your budgeted cost, that is 800. Actual cost is 1500. So actual cost can change, assuming that you have assumed initially that you will spend 10,000 rupees per day for 10 labors. That's what this scenario is. You have assumed that 10,000 rupees per day is that you are spending onto your activity, on your resources. But because of the conditions, traveling around these, that, X, Y, Z, there are 1,000 reasons where the cost can increase. And because of that, now actual cost, probably which we have estimated it as a 10,000 rupees per day, have went up to 12,000 rupees per day. Now into 1, because we have only 1 unit, means 10 laborers who have worked, that is 1 day. So we have spent 12,000 rupees. Any doubts in this? Planned value is budgeted cost for work scheduled. Budgeted cost was 10,000 rupees and the scheduled duration is 2 days. So that's actually 2 days we have finished it, right? So if you want to see here it is. This is actually how many days have been scheduled. We can see it here. If the project is on, if your activity is ongoing here in this activity, you can see here the work has been scheduled for 3 days, right? This is budgeted at completion. Budgeted at completion is 5,01,500. Actual cost is 4,000. Correct? So duration has been scheduled for 3 days. And this is the work performance of number of resources we have used, right? Based upon that, I have taken here planned value is 10,000 into 2. Earned value is they worked only for 1 day because we have used only 10% of resource. And for that 10%, that's they have worked only for 1 day, but what we have planned was 10,000 early. Now we are paying, ending up paying 12,000 rupees per day. Excuse me. So this is what has happened. This is now where we stand. Now let's start doing analysis of this. The first you will have to understand about SV. SV means, I'll write it completely, schedule variance. Schedule variance. Schedule variance is SV. Schedule variance is equal to earned value minus planned value. What you will come to know is what is the schedule variance. I will tell you now. Now you know that its earned value is how much? 10,000. Planned value is how much? 20,000. So what answer you will get is negative, that is minus 10,000. Right? What does this mean? What does the schedule variance is telling you? The schedule variance is telling you that with respect to the plan, with respect to the planned schedule, your variance is about amount of worth of 10,000 rupees. 10,000 rupees worth of work is not completed. That is in terms of schedule. Till today, with respect to the time, with respect to the duration, till today, the amount of work, the worth of amount of work which should have completed You have not completed that. So it should have been completed 20,000 rupees of worth of work, but you could have completed only 10,000. So that's the reason why the schedule variance shows this much amount of worth of work is not completed still. Let's see what is cost variance. Cost variance is nothing but CV. This is equal to earned value minus actual cost, right? So what is your earned value? 10,000. What is your actual cost? 12,000. What happens here? You have spent 2,000 rupees extra. This is the extra amount what you have spent apart from your budget. That's what is called as cost variance, for the amount of work which has been performed. I'll repeat, for the amount of this extra, this is that incompleted work it is showing. What this is showing? This is showing for the amount of work what your project you have done, the amount of work what you have done, for that you have spent 2,000 rupees extra than what you have planned before. Understood? Okay. Next is SPI. SPI means schedule performance index. Usually we know this as schedule performance index. SPI is equal to EV divided by PV. Earned value divided by planned value. Now how much you will get? How much you will get? I'll just use this so that once I start doing this, rest everything I'll be getting these numbers into history, and it becomes easier for me to doing analysis later on, right? So what we get is 0.5, right? So let it be like this here so that we'll use it further. So this is my 0.5. 0.5 means what? If I convert this into percentage, it's 50%, right? Schedule performance index tells that I could achieve only 50% of what I have planned. What it says? Schedule performance index, what you are performing, your schedule, in terms of schedule, your performance index shows that you are performing only 50% of what you have planned. Very simple. 20% of the work have to be done in 2 days, you have done only 10%. So in terms of schedule performance index, you are doing only 50% of the work. That's how it is. Next is CPI. CPI is cost performance index. Cost performance index is equal to EV divided by actual cost. Now, what is EV by actual cost? EV is again 10,000 divided by actual cost is 12,000. So what I get? 0.8333. So how many decimals I want to take based upon how big your project is. If your project is into multi-crore, then probably you will have to go up to 4 to 5 decimals, because you understand, if I miss out the decimals, what will happen? It will go into lakhs of money. So probably I'll use 0.8333. I'll use some 3-4 decimals, right? So this is my cost performance index. Probably I'll put it into percentage here is 83.3. 83.33. This is my performance index in terms of cost. What does this mean? This means that you should have achieved 100%. That's what you have planned, but you could achieve only 83.33% of what you have planned in terms of cost. So your performance index in terms of schedule is 50%. You could achieve only 50% of what you have planned, and in terms of cost you could have achieved only 83.33% of what you have planned. So this is the current situation. The next, now whatever we have done till now is that what we are seeing is we are trying to analyze what has happened with us, right? So what has happened in terms of time, what has happened in terms of cost and all. But the most important analysis what we have to do now is I have to estimate, right? On the second day, probably on the 2 days I have finished, on the third day I have to give a report that do I need to increase the budget of this project, because already I am there losing some money, right? Which was 10,000 rupees per day, the budget was, I have increased to 12,000 rupees per day. That case, how much extra money do you need? Or this 12,000, the difference what you are getting, 2,000 rupees cost variance, will remain constant? Will it increase in the further execution? Probably, because we are just on the third day. On the fifth or sixth day, the cost variance ratio may increase, right? Could be any reason. You will have to analyze what are the reasons, what you are forecasting, why you are forecasting it in that way. So the forecast is very important, because at a last moment, you should not give a shock to your management or into your client. So you will have to understand and forecast that where we are heading towards, right? So we call it as estimation at completion. This is known as EAC, estimation at completion. Very important. Now, forecast. How do you want to forecast? Means, I'll take this to next page. Now, what is that your forecast is? Now, there are different instances on which I can do forecasting. The first instance is variance will be constant, or the variance what has happened, the actual what has happened will not continue in the future. I'll repeat. The variance in terms of time and cost what has happened on day 1 and day 2 will not continue from third day. Everything remaining days, remaining work will happen according to the plan. So I call this as remaining work will happen according to plan. If remaining work happens according to the plan, variances will not continue in the future. If you feel that variances, whatever, there was some mistake or there was some reason where this variances has happened, now in the future from second day or from the third day, the variances will not occur and we will do according to the plan. Then estimation EAC is equal to AC plus BAC minus EV. This is the formula. This is the formula what you have to use to calculate your estimation at completion of the activity. Let's put into numbers and see. Or here I put it here only. Equal to, you know that AC is 12,000, right? Now before that, BAC minus EV. What is BAC? BAC means what? I have written somewhere here. No, I'll write it here. BAC is budgeted at completion. Budgeted at completion. It's known as BAC. Right? Budgeted at completion is equal to, what is the budget? 10,000 rupees per day into Total duration is how much? 10 days. So what we get here? 1 lakh. 3, 4, 5. So this is the amount. We call it as budgeted at completion. So what we have at completion of an activity, the budget is 1 lakh rupees, right? So now coming back to the formula, 1 lakh minus EV. EV is 10,000. So what is the amount what we get? 90,000 rupees. Any doubts you have? BAC is 1 lakh. EV is 10,000. So lakh minus 10 is 90,000 what we get. So our EAC is equal to 1 lakh 2,000 rupees. Is this correct? Yeah. So what it shows? It shows the 2,000 rupees what actually the extra money or the cost variance it is showing is constant, right? It is not there in the plan, which the 2,000 actual cost, the cost variance what has happened here remains constant. It is not going to continue in the future. So this 2,000 is constant, which is already we have spent extra, so we cannot do anything with that money. But in the future, from the third day, if everything goes according to the plan, then we will finish with that only 2,000 rupees extra. So that 1 lakh 2,000 rupees is what budgeted at completion is. It might look you very simple right now, because the cost we are talking about is into thousands, and we are just using a numbers which makes us calculate easy. But imagine if this goes into the crores of money, then it becomes really challenging, right? So this is the first forecast. The first forecast is whatever the extra money we have spent is already gone, so I cannot do anything with that. But in the future, whatever the remaining work is left out will happen according to the plan. Then this is the formula. Second formula, or the second factor, or the scenario, or the forecast is I will finish the project on time, or I'll finish the activity on time, but the cost variance which has happened will continue to grow with the same ratio till the end. This is a formula usually used by default. This is the formula which is used in Primavera, also in any of the project management software. Any cost variance which is there currently, we assume that is the ratio in which the cost variance will also continue to grow in the future. Here the cost variance is not constant. I am talking about the cost variance will grow with the same ratio. Understanding, if my cost variance is 0.8333 indices, the 0.833 indices will be continuing till the end of an activity. If that is a situation, I'll call this as cost or CPI what I can call it as grows in the same, continues to grow, or if I say CV will continue with the same ratio, then the formula is EAC is equal to BAC divided by CPI. This is the formula what you have to use, and this is a by default any project management software uses to calculate your estimation at completion. If for the 2 days, if I'm spending 2000 rupees extra, then after 10 days, what is the amount of extra money I'll be able to, or I'll be spending it. So if it goes into the same ratio, 0.8333 percentage, then what it is. So the answer is very simple, right? So BS is your a lakh of rupees divided by 0.8333, right? So I'll use 3 threes. So what is the answer? Did I close that? How did I close it? 1000 lakh divided by 0.8123. I'll use 3 threes. So the answer what I get is 12,000 rupees, right? 12,000. Probably there's a 4 rupees also. So it's not 12, it's 1,20,000, sorry, another 0, right? This is the answer. If I continue my cost variance, if it continues in terms of 0.833, then this is where I'll end up with. My cost variance is if 0.833, if I'm talking about. If you feel that your variances might wider still in the coming days, then you can change this number, and I'll repeat, if you feel that your cost variance might wider in the coming days because of inflation rates or the raw materials or the border issues, what is happening usually, we were one of the major steel exporter for China. So these kind of things might affect your raw materials as well. So if you feel that your cost variance is going to change apart from the 0.83, then you can change this number to whatever the number you want to forecast it to happen. Okay, now the third, it's okay, the next one is your cost variance CV and SV. Now in the second scenario, what we did, we considered only cost variance, right? We told cost variance will continue with the same ratio, but here CV and SV both will perform the way it has happened till now. I'll repeat. In the second scenario, we have considered only the cost variance, and we are forecasting that if cost variance continues in this fashion, then what will happen to the estimated cost. But in second scenario, what we said, we will still finish the activity on time within 10 days or on 10 days. But in this the third scenario, the cost will also perform with the ratio of 0.833 and the schedule performance will perform at the ratio of 0.5. Then what? Because if the duration increases, the cost also increases. You still end up paying more. Assume, I'll give you an example. You have your all site engineers, site supervisors, everybody is there onto the site, and because of rain you could not work. You still end up paying them. You cannot cancel those scheduled dates. So if the duration is increasing, still it will affect the duration of it will affect the cost of the project, right? So budgeted cost have to be increased in that scenario also. If your cost variance and schedule variance are both increasing, then, or whatever, not increasing, I will not say that word increasing because it can happen in anyways. Some of that, why always in negative? Because most of the projects are into negatives in this scenario. So I'm showing you this example. Could be in other way around also. You might be performing better than what we have planned. You are performing better in terms of cost and in terms of time. So always giving a negative example is not good, but this is how our projects are. EAV is equal to what? If both cost variance and schedule variance are going to perform or going to perform the same way, then EAV is equal to AC plus BAC minus EV divided by SPI into CPI. This is the formula. Excuse me. So let's do this. Let's put some numbers and then see. So what is SPI into CPI? SPI is 0.5 into CPI is 0.8333. As I told, I'll take it 3 times. So what I'm getting is 0.41665 is that answer I'm getting it here. Now what we have to do, BAC minus EV. BAC is 1 lakh, EV is how much? 10,000. So what we get is 90. So 90 divided by 0.41665. 41665. What I get here? 21,600 whatever. 2,16,000 rupees. Yeah, 2,16,000 rupees plus actual cost. Actual cost is how much? 12,000. So what we get? 2,28,000 rupees. Now if we go with this formula, it says 2,28,000 rupees. My God. Because in this situation, in this scenario, the third scenario, you are considering your scheduled performance as 50, means this project which you have promised to finish it in 10 days might consider 20 days, or you're forecasting in this third scenario, you're forecasting that your project is not going to, your activity is not going to be finishing in 10 days, your activity is going to be finishing in 20 days. And for 20 days, what the amount of extra work or extra cost we have to spend, is that what you are calculating here. And you will end up with spending 2,28,000 rupees. Your initial budget was only 1 lakh. Your estimation at completion cost is 2,28,000 rupees. This is, guys, remember, this is the major reason why our projects fails. Why a company is like Hindustan Construction Company or Lanco Infrastructure or IRB Infrastructures, who are there from past 40-50 years, Punj Lloyd, but they could not sustain, in a market. Lanco Infrastructure having a project size of around 20,000 crores, 22,000 crores, ended up losing money. The project size, the project's estimated cost was around 22,000 crores. If you have come across L&T's latest project of a Bihar, right? A single Bihar project is around 9,000 crore estimated project. Imagine what could be the total estimation of the projects what L&T might have right now in their portfolios. Can you estimate? Can you just imagine it? But a company like Lanco having 21,000 crores estimated project size in their portfolio ended up losing money. Can you imagine this? They ended up making loss. Company which was such a big at some point of time, today company is selling out its ventures for peanuts cost. You just have to understand, and in our constructions or in our civil related companies, at any point of time we can take a U-turn because of these considerations, the forecasting, the imagination, the assumptions what we have made. And if things goes wrong like this, a project, just imagine, if this is not a lack of rupees, this is 100 crore project. You are telling that if third situation occurs, if we are estimating at, if your cost variance and schedule variance will perform at this rate, then your project estimation is going to 228 crores. Your initial budget is 100 crore. Do you think your client will give you another 128 crores? Challenging your client into any court in this world is not possible in that case. That is what happened with Hindustan Construction Company when they were doing this Bandra Worli link. Or similar things what has happened with BMRCL, because these people, these were the government projects. Government gave them a recovery plan. Imagine if these kind of things happens into your commercial buildings, residential buildings and all, what will happen? What will happen is contractor will leave the project in between and he'll run away at this stage, seeing the estimation and completion. Until unless you increase the budget, I'll not do your project. This will happen, and he'll lose all the market fame or the faith whatever he has generated over a period of time will be lost in a single project. Very important, guys. This is a situation where we are estimating, it's all in our hands. If your plan, whatever you have planned is going to be same, without changing, without no variance is going to happen, then you will finish up with 1,02,000. If your only cost variance is going to continue, you'll end up with 1,20,000. But if both variances are going to continue with a similar passion, with a similar way, with whatever the variances are there currently now, then you will end up with 2,28,000 rupees. So immediately what will I do? As a project manager, I'll call for a team meet, and I also have to call a management meeting where probably a management will also be there, client will be there, everybody will be there. I'll tell that this is the current situation. Doing this is, I feel I'm just creating a scenario so that you people will understand. Okay, I'm creating a scenario. I'm there in the mid of the meeting where my clients are there and my managements are there to make them understand that I need more money, right? So I'm explaining them that this is impossible now, because the assumptions what we have made was with respect to so and so, and my assumptions have totally went wrong, because inflation rates have increased, the concrete price have increased, the steel cost have increased, the elections have come, and in between elections that was not predicted, that have affected our economy too much, and that inflation rates have increased so much. Or labor cost has become difficult. Earlier we used to have a fixed cost of around 300-350 rupees. Now fixing any labor cost is the biggest challenge. So because of that, or because of things like not controllable, like environmental problems or pandemic what has happened currently, all these stuff, I can explain XYZ reason, I can give 100 reasons that why I am asking for more money. Alright, so I have all the evidence to tell that why I am increasing or why I am expecting to give me more money. Now the question, okay, the management says and the client says, okay, I understand, and this is the reason why you cannot do it and you cannot finish it at this cost. But where do you want to end up with? I'll say that I want to end up with here 1,20,000. This is the worst situation, but this will not happen. I'm promising my client that this will not happen. I want another 20,000 rupees extra in the budget, or say about I'm asking for another 30,000 rupees extra in the budget, 30% more budget. My client says no, it's not possible. I can they do all the research, they have their own expertise, subject matter experts and all, and then SMEs what we call them as, and then they come with some figure. They'll say that, okay, look, this is what we can give you maximum. Further to this, we'll have to bear the losses in the company. That's what your team management is telling you. Your team management will not let you know that how much the cost budget have got increased from a client have given some extra XYZ money, but your management will never tell you that. Your management will come and tell you that, see, this is what the extra money I can give you. Anything more than this, if you want, it's our loss. Company whatever the company you are working for has to bear the losses, and what is the adherence of that. So I'll not explain that. So right, so this is what I will tell you. Probably now the fourth formula, that's what I'm trying to explain, the whole scenario here. The fourth formula says And here the fourth formula is based totally customizing. You are customizing your earned value analysis the way you want it. Estimation at completion is equal to AC plus ETC. What is ETC now? There is a new thing which I have again written. ETC is estimation to complete. EAC is estimation at complete. ETC is estimation to complete. Means what is, AC is something which is already spent. What is the money do you need from here till the completion of your project? That's what we had a discussion with our team management, and our team management gave me some amount that this is what the money I can give you. With this amount you will have to spend, you can spend so much, like, I'll not be providing anything more than this. So my team management have decided that they'll give you some money. Let's see what is that extra money they have given me. This is 12,000 rupees is the actual cost which has already been spent, right? So we do not have anything to do with this. Plus, now as I told you, this is not possible to finish with, so my management have decided that they will provide me another, say, 1,10,000 rupees, right? So this is the extra money what they have decided to give me. So what is the total cost now? So it's 2,30,000. So right, so this is 2,30,000 is the new budget what I have got. So with all the team meeting discussion, with all the explanation, evidences that why the cost is increasing, my management have decided that for the rest of the remaining whatever the work we have, we are going to spend, we are going to increase 30% of the cost to the total budget of the cost, and they have given me 1,10,000 rupees as the new budget for the remaining work, right? So this is estimation at completion. So totally it is 2,30,000. Now if it's all left to me that I want to go here, I want to reach here, I want to reach here, or I want to reach here. I in the sense, sorry, somewhere I did a mistake. One second. This is 12,000. I have taken this wrong. It should be 1,30,000, not 2,30,000. This is not, it's 12,000. So 12,000 plus 1,10,000 is 1,30,000 rupees. This is correct. Alright. So I want to end up with 1,02,000, 1,20,000, 1,30,000, or 2,28,000 is all left to me. Now let's see. There's a next very important thing that is called as TCPI. TCPI, or it is known as to complete performance index. It is known as TCPI, to complete performance index. To complete performance index, or TCPI, there are two formulas again. The first formula says, if you still, you are there in the same meeting still, again your client, everybody is still there, and they ask what it would take. I'll repeat. You are there in the same meeting again, your client, management, everybody is there, and your client will ask you a question, what it would take for you to complete this project within 10 days, and within 1 lakh rupees only. I will not give you a single rupee extra, nor I will give you a duration extra. So what is that extra efforts, how much amount of extra work you will have to do, perform, in what ratio the work has to be done to finish this project within time and within the budget. So the formula goes like this: BAC minus EV divided by BAC minus AC. Can somebody help me out to understand how much this will come? BAC minus EV is 90,000. BAC minus AC is how much? 1 lakh minus AC is 12,000, right? So it's 88. So 90,000 divided by 88. This is 102. Let's say 102.3. So 102.3 means, or if you just take it as index first, let's take this as a index, and the percentage is 102.3. That means if you still want to finish your project with a lakh of rupees and within 10 days, then your CV or your CPI and SPI has to perform at a indices of 102.3 percentage. Currently your CPI is 83.3, in your SPI is 0.5. Your 0.5 has to turn into 102.3, and your CPI, which is 0.833, has to turn into 102.3. That much of increase in your productivity has to be brought. You understanding? We are performing at the rate of 50%, which has to go across 100, and it has to perform at the rate of 102.3 percentage. We will have to perform 2.3 percentage more than what we had planned. If you go according to the plan, then you will end up with spending 2,000 rupees extra. But if you still want to finish within a lakh of rupees within 10 days, then your performances have to cross your planned plan, and then you will have to increase your productivity to 1.2.3 percentage, which is currently impossible with this current situation, right? So the second situation is BAC minus EV divided by EAC minus AC. Now what this formula says? This formula says, if this is the maximum what your management have told that will be providing you, this is the extra budget what I will be providing you, so you'll have to finish your project within this amount, whatever the amount which has been given here, right? So this is already spent. This plus this is equal to this, correct? So now if I have to end up my project with this cost, then what should be my schedule performance index? What should be my cost performance index? That is where I can call it as maximum. I cannot cross that particular mark. If at any point of time if my indices are crossing that limit, then assume that you are not going to finish it in 1,30,000 rupees. So let's see. Let's put this EAC as 1,30,000 and calculate. One lakh, right? This is 1,30,000 minus 12,000, 1,18,000. So 90,000 divided by 1,18,000. So it is 0.763. Or if I have to say it in indices, it's 76.3 percentage. If you want to reach this cost, that is 1,30,000 rupees, if you want to end your activity at this cost, ensure that at any point of time your CPI should not go beyond 76.3 and your SPI should come up before, right now it is below 76, right? So it should come above 76.3. What does this mean? What is this telling me currently now? It is telling me currently in terms of cost you are doing okay, because you are there at 0.8333 and your required efficiency is 76.3. You're doing good in terms of cost. But how about time? Time you are performing at the rate of 0.5. Now what is that you are understanding by this? I understand by this where I'll have to increase my productivity in terms of duration, for which if I have to spend a little extra money, I can still afford to do that, because at present my efficiency in terms of cost is 0.833, wherein I have a flexibility to go up to 0.763 or 76.3. In terms of cost, I have little extra money which I can still spend to recover back my duration which I've already lost, and I will monitor this. What I have to do? I'll have to monitor this every 15 days or 8 days. Whenever you update, what you're doing, you're recording the actuals, right? The moment you record the actuals and put into Primavera, I'll have to go to these things and check that where I am, where is my cost index, where is my schedule performance index, is it is there right up to 0.763, or it is above to that, if it is below to that, what it is, where it is. So every 15 days I will have to monitor. This is called as a milestones. Every 15 days probably you can create a milestone. How many milestones you could have achieved, is that what you have to count. Any milestone which you have missed out, you have 15 days to recover back. How do you recover that? Now these percentages have to be converted to rupees and see that how much extra money I have. Right now my performance is 0.83, but I can afford it up to 0.76. That is difference amount you have to check. In percentage it is, you have to convert that into rupees and find out what is the extra money you have. Or right now your schedule performance index shows it's 0.5. In 2 days you have missed out first day only. Say about, you have delayed your start of the activity itself, has got 1 day delay. How do I recover that? You have to convert that into days. Right now it is showing in percentage. Right now if it is 1 day, 2 day, you are able to recognize it. Assume we are talking about weeks or months. Then I need to know how many days I have to recover. My recovery is around say 20%, 30% in the normal projects. 20% of recovery is around say 2.5 months, 3 months. So how do I recover so much of time? What should I do without losing more cost also? Cost also you have to ensure that you can go up to only 0.76. You cannot go beyond that. So how do I spend that money? How do I make my employees work overtime without charging me cost? Or what is the way where I can increase my productivity and decrease the duration? There are lots of ways. It could be a technology, it could be any human resource, or the software inclusions today, or anything, any way which I can decrease my duration in any of the activity. This is the way we will have to understand. Then again go back to Primavera. Then the remaining activities we should plan to finish it in a way where the considerations of the assumptions what we had previously have changed now. So we will have to change the remaining plan. And again probably if you take an approval from an client, you will have to update the baselines and then again start recording the actuals. Whatever we have learned here, all these formulas, you need not do it manually. That is the best part. What we have in Primavera is you need not do any of these things manually. Reason is, if you go to this option called as columns, you have something called as earned value here. Can you see this? When I open this, you have related to all earned value analysis, you have all these columns here. Like let me put all the formulas or what just I have taught you. I'll put something called as planned value cost, is nothing but PV. PV is planned value cost. EV is earned value cost. Right? Similar way, AC is actual cost. Then we have probably schedule variance. So we have schedule variance. Then I need cost variance, right? Then I need CPI or SPI, schedule performance index. So I have schedule performance index. Then I need cost performance index. I have cost performance index. Then I need estimation at completion. Estimation at completion cost. Estimation to complete. Right? And to complete performance index. To complete performance index. So I'll just bring all these columns here. I'll say apply and I'll say okay. You can see here all these things have automatically calculated and shows you what is your planned value cost, what is your earned value cost, what is your actual cost, what is the schedule performance index, the schedule variance, cost variance. And you can see here your right now project is performing with 0.61 in terms of schedule, and we are performing really great. It's 1.7 in terms of cost. So estimation at completion cost is this much. This is, as I told you, by default it will use a formula called as BAC divided by CPI. If you want to do the change in this estimation at completion cost formula, then you will have to again go to the admin preferences, or you should contact your admin supervisor. Usually that settings has not been given in this version of the software. It has been provided for EPPM because all the administration application management related settings have been provided in EPPM, right? So estimation to complete, what is the amount still required to complete. So if you subtract your actual cost from this figure, you will get this figure. So to complete performance index, it is telling me that at 0.87% means 87% if I perform, I'll be able to finish with 9,43,000 rupees. So all these things, I did not put any formula manually and do it, but you need to know this. If you want to alter, you want to see, monitoring is one. Just by putting the columns, what will happen is you will monitor that what is your SPI, what is your CPI, what is TCPI, all the stuff. But our intention is not only to monitor, right? Our intention is to control it. If you do not know this formula, if you do not know how does it work, then controlling is impossible, right? So you need to know, what if I do changes in CPI, how much I should do, then convert that percentage into numbers and see how many days actually, if I say, what will happen, how much extra cost I can spend on, how much leverage till I have to spend extra money. You will have to, you cannot do experimenting, of course, because that might cost you too much. You cannot experiment that physically on your project, but you can do experiment on your software. It will not cost you anything. You can play with these numbers and see that what is, you can fine tune this. Rather than using a word play, I can use this word fine tuning. You can do fine tuning. You should do fine tuning with this indices to get the right number. Then the moment you get the right number, you want to land up here, then go back and see that, convert that into percentages into number. It could be in terms of cost, it could be in terms of days. Excuse me. So when you convert that, you come to know actually that how much extra money do you need, and then you make a team meeting and then announce it, so that you are well informing your team management that what's happening in your project, and so that everybody is prepared for it. Forecasting is very important, guys. Alright, so doing it in software is not much, you just have to bring these columns, whatever the formulas we have written here, these columns have to be brought in here, and the moment you start doing the changes, these numbers will automatically change, because these are called as predefined fields. We have learned user defined fields now, where we have given our own understanding to that column. But these columns are already predefined. There's already a formula in this. And you know what is the formula for this? How the CPI is calculated? CPI is calculated divided by EV divided by AC. So by default, that's how this works. Somewhere we are not doing good, somewhere we are doing good. Somewhere we have spent more money. Right? You can see here. What was the actual cost? What was the planned cost? So what is the cost variance? 700 rupees. You have planned for 800 rupees, but you actually spent 1500 rupees. So where did you end up? You are spending 700 rupees extra. Right? You could finish it you have finished your activity on time, but you spent more money. So your cost variance or CPI is telling you that you could perform only 0.53 percentage of what you have planned for this activity. I'm telling you, and summarizing it everything, it will tell you at the WBS level and to the project level. Okay. Oh God, left with only 7 members.